Hello, everyone. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend, and I hope you guys had a really good day trading today as well. It made some good trades because right now the Qs were down 3%, the IWM was down 3%, and the SPY was down 2%. The Dow Jones was even down 1.43% after making a new all-time high. What's going on? What's going on, guys? What's happening? The VIX was up 33% on the day. Massive spike in the UVIX as well. So what could this mean for the market here? We are breaking back above this downsloping trend line on the VIX. Is the market crash resuming? Well, let's dive in and I'll tell you guys what I think's going on because, for the people who have been following me and for the members that have been, inside my Discord, you guys would have avoided this massive disaster today and you would have profited because I'll disclose to you my positions right now. I'll tell you guys what I'm in and where I entered and everything. I entered AMD shorts when we were up here, and AMD is now down 15%. We're up 15% on this short position here on AMD. We entered shorts on Apple, right? Apple shorts. When we hit this level right here at 233, I sent out a signal. I said this is probably an area of interest where we should probably look for a short position. And again, we're up 4% on this one already now. And again, this position is 10% of the portfolio. We're doing some swings here, and these are beautiful entries. I'd like to enter on pivots. This was a pivot here. I did not want to enter long, but clearly this was the right call. If you would have entered long on this pivot here, then you would have had a nice, 16% gain. And now from this point here, you would have been up 4%. All right, and this is just how I do this. The Elliott wave calculations work, and they're amazing. And it's amazing how it works. Again, it's not always 100%, but when it does work, it's beautiful. Now the next target is all the way down here at a 187, which is very unfortunate, because if this plays out, then it's going to be a massive correction for Apple. And I think that if it doesn't bounce here, which I think this could ultimately actually fail, then this could result in in a much bigger correction in the markets. But let's take a look at my other positions as well. I had some longs on SOXS, which is the short SMH ETF, which is essentially the SMH is just the semis, and I've been charting it here, and the semis look like they were going to reverse, and I entered some short positions around this area, which is essentially long the XOXS. Well, we were up a tremendous amount today, up 22% in one single day. So again, we're benefiting greatly from there. It's not all roses, So I'm long a couple things like PALL, AMC, and TMF. And TMF have been long for such a long time now. It's we're just sitting in the money. We're just bathing in it at this point because we're just reaping the rewards. Okay, so that's essentially it, and the yields, we've been tracking them, but let me get on to the Qs and the SPY, where I think this is going. So if this is a 1-2 setup, which means this wave 4 is in right here, then this was a buyable dip today, right? This dip was buyable, and we should reverse tomorrow. Although the traditional markets don't seem like that right now. If this is a double correction, then this was your buy area today, which we actually reversed out of. And the SPY looks like it's a very ugly correction. I don't like the way this corrected, and we did ultimately hold the pivot of a flat correction, but ultimately I think this could actually go much deeper if it wants to. We're in a pretty big downtrend at the moment. The 45-minute can still go lower, and it's not over, right? And we had a nice reversal, right? Don't get me wrong, we had a nice reversal at the end of the day. The overnight markets aren't really sharing that enthusiasm at the moment. The Nasdaq is down 40 basis points. The S&P, I believe, is down 28 basis points. The futures are all bleeding. The Hang Seng is down, Bitcoin's down, oil's down. And let's talk about oil, right? Because this is another one that I've been warning you guys about, is that oil is probably going to go down in this big breakdown move in this wave 3 moment. And I said what's going to happen is probably going to be a massive move. And this is what the Elliott wave, the the Elliott wave strategy dictated big amount of 1-2 setups and then capitulation moment. So now you're in wave 3. So you're probably going to bounce pretty soon. Probably maybe tomorrow you should get a bounce, but it could fail and then go lower and ultimately continue to go lower. So that's what I see for oil, and it's that's it. It's not a bullish setup for oil. And if energy is going down, what do you think is the reason? It's obviously a recession that's on the horizon. And then the IWM here, IWM is actually getting a nice little dip as well. I think this could have been the wave 2 top here. Again, we'll know more, as the chart develops. But we're in the makings of a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So if the IWM continues to gap down, then we'll know that we nailed the top. Funny enough, Tom Lee and all that nonsense, the IWM is gonna go up 40% from here. I was saying, like, we got to be cautious because we're in a wave 5, and I don't like to trade wave 5s. And if anything, it's going to be a short. And we actually opened some nice shorts here, and we benefited from this big crash that occurred. Now this big rally up, people are getting very bullish. I'm not as bullish as everyone else, and we're looking for a bigger corrective move. So it looks like that's what's happening right now. Now if we don't get this 1-2 setup in the Qs, and it ends up breaking lower, then what's playing out here is going to be a bigger double correction. So you could force 5 waves here, but I could also make it 3 waves. And if it is 3 waves, then the SPY and the Qs are going to correct lower, and you're going to do something like this, right? Where you're going to do something where it's going to be a W, an X, and a Y, and you're going to correct all the way back down to 409. That's going to be your level to correct down to, right? This was this dip buy area here. The next dip buy area is going to be all the way down there, right? And let me see if it's actually moved. Let me see if it's moved since then. Yeah, it's moved a little bit lower. So that's going to be the dip buy area down here, right? For the SPY. And it's, again, if you guys don't think this system works, look at NVDA, right? NVDA, boom. Huge drop, reversal. Okay, now what? Now it's a C. C leg, this is the sell area. Okay, now where's the next level? The next level has always been here. It's been 81 the whole time. And NVIDIA ended earlier, so to me this looks like this is where we're headed now. Anyways, you guys can do whatever you want. I'm still also, by the way, I forgot to say, I'm also short Tesla. So I'm short a lot of names right now. But I'm profiting from all of them. And it's not time to long and go super uber bullish mode and continue to buy the dip nonstop. Google, my next target for Google is all the way down here. This will most likely fail. It doesn't look like a 1-2 anymore, although it still could be. But if you break this pivot, then you'll know you're inside the SPY leg, and you better stop out of your positions because you're gonna want to. Are you really gonna want to hold through a 20, a 17 to 32% down move in Google? Probably not, right? And at that point, then you're in a bigger corrective cycle, and the market top is in, right? At least for tech. Let me take a look at a few other names here. I'll take a look at TLT. TLT ended up holding a little bit. It kind of invalidated. You gapped down below this level here. You wicked it. You wicked below this level a little bit. Maybe my level is off just by a tiny amount, but regardless, it still held the 1-2-1-2 setup, and now it's trying to impulse out, right? So it gapped up today, up nice 1.31%. Could this low be in? Could be, but we need to see follow through, right? We need to see a lot of follow through. Let me check the 45-minute cycle. Yeah, it could be on its way. It could be on its way higher. You broke this downsloping trend line as well. So you got a lot of positive action here coming from TLT, which means the yields should be headed lower, right? We got a big down move in the yields. If it crashes below and continues to go lower, then that would be great, because then you could end this leg here and erase this divergence and finish in this big capitulation move in wave 2. But we'll see what happens. You don't know what's going to happen in this market. If they start to do emergency rate cuts, then you bet your ass that the yields are going to collapse in a massive, massive leg down. Let me see what else. What else can we take a look at here? So crypto is one that I've been talking about, and I said Mara looked like a good short opportunity. I did not take any short positions on Mara. I was looking to buy puts, but the move has already taken place, so I'm not going to chase this. I'm just going to let it run. Once it gets down here, I'll probably look to buy some long-term call options and maybe even load up on some of the stock. Again, a lot of people wanted this to be done here, and I just didn't think that it had the legs for a wave 3 just based off the nature. And then you peaked in a C leg, so this, you could obviously tell this was a 3-wave move. Big correction down. Now what's going to happen is that this is going to end up it's going to collapse all the way back down here, and you're probably going to erase this divergence. Once that's done, then you'll know the low is in. Again, my targets are all the way down here at $5, right? That is a massive collapse in Mara. That means Bitcoin is going much lower, right? That's just my opinion. Again, I'm already short Bitcoin from 59,400, so I'm just sitting in profits right now. I'm very, very happily just looking at Bitcoin go down, and you're watching people destroy themselves trying to buy the dip, because we already know where the price is going just based off Mara, right? The Mara is a big tell for what crypto is going to do. All right, Roku is down as well, respecting the flat target. Again, I don't know where this one's going, but I am not bullish on Roku. It can burn down if it wants. Again, NVDA dip buyers down here. I think we just talked about this one. I don't need to talk about it more. Let's take a look at PayPal. What's PayPal doing? PayPal is actually holding up very nicely. I really like PayPal. PayPal would be a great dip buy if it can hold up through all this nonsense. But it's gonna have to have a corrective move as well, because it's already had a nice run up, and you're already finishing up in a wave 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Wave 1 needs to come back down. You need to pull back in a 3-wave move, finish in wave 2. Then you have a viable dip. And let's take a look at. Let me see. I think I was charting another stock like this. It's a very similar. I forget. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's not SMCI, but SMCI's got lower to go. And I told you guys in this B wave, if we take out this pivot, we're probably gonna end up going lower, right? And I guess this is the path it's taken. And look at the semis. The semis are on fire. People love the semis, right? They just want to buy, bullish, bullish, bullish. That's not the case. And AMD, I'll tell you guys where the AMD target is. It's down here at 102. It's got $30 to go. It's got much lower to go. Could it double correct higher? It could, but I think this move already showed us that this correction's over with this pivot right here, and a beautiful pivot that was, and then boom, massive reversal. Let's take a look at a few other things. GDX is going up higher and higher and higher. Let's see what's going on with GDX. I actually was charting the GDXU, I believe. It was the GDXU before. Okay, GDXU, I'm mapping out a big pullback in the GDXU, but it could be bullish. But today was a massive down day in the market. So to me, this looks like if it corrects back down to here, then you have a big dip buy opportunity. You have a big dip buy opportunity right here for a wave 2 buy. So that means how much more down? You know, you got 33% more downside in the GDXU. And if it does end up, you know, leveling off there, then that's going to be amazing, because I think gold's going much higher, because inflation is probably going to come back, and you're going to see the DXY collapse. And DXY, I said we're in wave 4 here, so you should probably finish up in wave 5. Got lower to go. Let me see. What else? What am I missing here? We could take a look at Market Cipher, and I'll give you guys, you know, my take on what's going on. And you can see the momentum and all that stuff on the weekly and the monthly. And so the monthly, we just opened a new monthly candle. It's got very bearish dual band strength index numbers. Not as much on the SPY. The Dow Jones still looks bullish, and the Russell 2000 is kind of losing its momentum here, flipping to more the bearish side, but still bullish. The IWM, Triple Q. So Triple Q's NASDAQ tech is the weakest out of them all right now. As much as you love your NVIDIA and your AI chips, it is very weak at the moment. Very, very weak indeed. and you don't really want to be longing that in this kind of kind of situation that you're in. So yeah, that's basically it. Let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly looks like shit. The weekly looks terrible. You got a red dot. It looks like it's gonna spill over deeper. The Russell 2000 is kind of flat to negative. Flat on the S&P, and the Dow Jones is still bullish. So the Dow Jones looks like it wants to go higher for whatever reason. And then the daily time frame. Well, I don't need to explain it to you guys. The daily time frame, very bearish. Very bearish. We're going lower. And then same thing for the S&P and the NASDAQ. Oh man, the NASDAQ is flipping into red. You're cutting into red money flow. Very bearish. Very bearish indeed. Blood diamond, 22 -5 on the dual bench strength index. Last time you got a red diamond, you had a big sell-off here in the NASDAQ, down 6%. You had another one here, 6%. Are we expecting a 6% sell-off? And then you had a bunch over here. But yeah, I mean, guys, you need to accept that tech isn't the go-to dip buy monster it was, and we're headed probably into some bad economic times, and that's probably why everything's selling off like crazy. And that's probably why I'm holding all these short positions in Apple, AMD, Tesla, SQQ, and shorting the semis. So I'm just sitting pretty right now, right? I'm watching everyone panic over this. Anyways, that's it for me. I don't think I have much else to add here. You could kind of see some dip buyers probably stepping in overnight, trying to gap this up tomorrow. Are they? Yeah, a little bit. Like on the 1 minute. What about the 3 minute, 5 minute? Yeah, I mean, like they're trying to buy this up, right? They're trying to try and push this back up. I wouldn't be surprised if they pushed it like all the way back up to maybe like 559, 560, and then reversed it back down again. Like just really playing games with people, whipsawing them all over the place. Told you guys the 4-hour cycle broke, and you should probably be warned. And now if you listened, you would be reaping the rewards. Anyways, I'm not always right, guys. So just know that I'm not always right. I may be right today, but I may be looking like a fool tomorrow. So let's see how the next move plays out, and hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.